So far so good. Any questions? No? Very good. So now we
now we will ask you to plunge into our second purpose of analysis, which is stereotypes. We will ask you to watch a very short commercial which was broadcast here in Argentina a couple of months ago in the context of the Football World Cup.
All right. So this is your real time.
Sabemos que puede haber un clima hostil, pero se tienen que agrandar en las malas. Corran, luchen, sufran, pongan lo que tengan que poner, transpiren hasta que no puedan más. Nunca bajen los brazos, dejen la vida en el campo, recen, imploren, prometan que Dios sigue siendo argentino, porque queremos recuperar la gloria, pero lo que más queremos es que la selección argentina sea bien Argentina. Nosotros nos acompañamos a muerte, todos, unidos frente a la fe, porque somos lo mismo, bien argentinos.
Okay, and with this we are ready to start discussing our second purpose of analysis, which is stereotypes, right? First of all, I want to make a question. What kind of feeling do you, or what kind of message do you think the music conveys in this video?
Emotion.
Oh, very good.
Passion, right? Some kind of solemnity, right?
Yeah.
Okay, right. So we have chosen two different pictures to trigger off the discussion, right? Can any of you remember the word after at the moment in which these two pictures are Very good. Very good. And now we can start in how right? And you can see that more than happy this is a kind of sad message, right? Right. Pongan lo que tengan que poner. It's interesting to see how the woman here is. When we say pongan lo que tengan que poner, in Spanish we say pongan huevos. And I don't know why we tend to associate this with mainstream media, when in fact we know that if we trace the origin of this word, of this phrase, most probably the origin is connected to the hen, right? And the egg production carried out by the hen, right? So we wonder whether the comparison between a hen and the woman giving birth here to the baby is done on purpose, but most probably does, right? It is. Pongan lo que tengan que poner. Tener que, right? In this case, we have modalization here, an obligation, right? Does the woman have the obligation to fulfill this promise to another? Right? We wonder. We don't know. Well, apparently, Valerie something.
Right, and in connection to the other picture, what you see is a man working, which is connected to this stereotype of the man as an amphibious worker, and also this very Christian idea of work as a form of sacrifice, yes, dejen la vida en el campo, of work as perhaps even more valuable than life itself, which reminds me of a passage in the Bible which goes, ganarás el pan con el sudor de tu frente, which is very explicit here in this case, right? And the other thing that is present in these two parts, but also throughout the whole video, the use of imperatives, right? How advertisements are all the time making use of imperatives, right? Like giving you an order, right? Right, now let's explore the kind of activities that men are shown doing on TV commercials.
Right. Well, we have taken some pictures from the video we have just watched, right? And then we have looked for different TV commercials, and we have picked some images from different ones, like the baby one and
these were from
and this is not a TV commercial, but it's so right.
but as you can see, they might as well have come from many other, because the image is repeated, right? We usually see men doing arduous physical work, whether young or old, because here this man is rather old and still he's shown in a context of working. And also, for example, here you see men, here and over there, you see men all dressed in the same way, as if they were all part of the same mass of workers, which in a way helps to depersonalize them, right?
Right, and we perceive the man as a disposable entity, right?
Right.
We can replace one with the other, and you will never be able to tell the difference. Okay.
And what about blue-collar workers, mostly blue-collar?
Yeah. Okay.
Right. Now that we have taken a look at this, let's see what activities women are shown doing.
Okay.
Right. As you can see, the image is again repeated in many different commercials. Here we have Veronica Verano very happy about making soap. Here we have this woman who is struggling to use the toilet because apparently she's so helpless that she needs to use the toilet.
The superhero is supervising, right?
And it's a man.
That's right.
It's a man, but
he doesn't clean.
yes. No, he has to eat the toilet, and that's it. That's it.
I was just telling her, probably there is kind of connection between superhero and supervising, because this is the only thing that she's doing in the commercial.
Another thing we want to make a point of is the fact that, for example, here, which is from television,
I don't know if you can support the woman here, she's sweeping the street.
right? And what we mean is, even when she's outside the house, the woman is shown doing things which we normally associate with things that we do in the house, like sweeping, right? So.
And this idea that if you're not happy doing your household chores, well, probably you are doing it wrong, right?
Right.
Definitely.
Yeah, there was another commercial with a song that said something like, en mi tiempo libre, tengo tiempo libre para disfrutar.
Yeah. Okay. Then, further stereotype. In this case, the man as the sexual subject and the woman as the sexual object, right?
Right. We must bear in mind in this case that when we speak of woman objectification, we must necessarily also speak of man subjectification. That is, when someone is turned into an object or thought of as an object, that object must necessarily be for a subject, which in this case is almost exclusively a heterosexual man.
Right. And remember that TV commercials not only sell products, but also ideas, right? And conceptions. In this case, the only available or the only legitimate kind of sex is the sexual one, right? And we can see here, for instance, a woman with no face, a faceless woman throughout the whole video, right? This is the case. Or the man, like, pointing to this little red writing tube, right? As if he was pointing to the products he wants to consume from the supermarket shelf.
Right, and as regards this, some of the bibliography that we've consulted said that, for example, men learn from an early age to say, I want, while women need to learn to say, I want to be wanted. So while men have this right to think about what they want, women usually have to think about what they need to do to be wanted by someone else, who is usually the man.
Right. The last stereotype we are going to briefly tackle today is this one. The man as a rational being and the woman as a emotional, sometimes over emotional being, right?
Right, so we see here again this image of the woman crying and being over emotional, repeated, yes? And also the fact that, as you can see over there, both men, both girls and boys learn from an early age. Girls at this age, it's okay for them to cry, or to be shown crying and being emotional, while men need to learn to repress their feelings, and
right.
Because it's not manly to be shown crying or showing emotion.
These pictures are taken from the video we have just seen, but these ones are
from
have recurrently proved, right, found that women do not have the same access as men to important roles in society, right? Even worked by a researcher, right? Within work and political circles, men are seen as more authoritative, powerful, active, rational, intelligent, decisive, and qualified than women. So apparently there is some kind of connection between the messages that we are recurrently exposed to, right?
Yeah, and also the fact that we receive them on a conscious level. We're not always aware of these.
And then the way in which we are perceiving reality, right?
Right. So we decided to do some research on how this affects our political life.
Right.
And these are the.
So let's see. For instance,
we discovered that over 20 years ago, women comprised only 5% of the Chamber of Deputies, whereas at present there are 37%
of women.
Something similar happened in the Senate. 10 years ago, women comprised only 3% of the Senate, whereas at the moment there is about 30% more. Right?
Right. So we can see that women are gaining more political power. They are not just housewives.
Also in the universities here, you can see that most students are women and men, probably because of the English.
Yeah, very much. Presidents, right? We have had 48 presidents, different presidents so far, and 2 of them are women, right? And
don't forget the fact that the first one was women. Yeah.
Right. Even so, when a woman is in top position, right, Christina, for instance, whether you like her or not, women gain more political power, right, in the country. We have seen that in just 10 years, the number has increased dramatically in chambers of deputies and elections.
Right, and as we were talking before, we decided to see if this also held true as for TV producers, yes, and who puts these messages on air.
Right, who pulls the strings? Was the question we asked at the beginning, right? Who is not defining this content? Okay.
So we did some research in some of the most common mainstream TV producers, and we took a look at la Cornisa, la televisión, Volta, and we found, for example, that, well, I don't know if you can appreciate it from here, but in Volta, no women, apparently. Mind you, this is no women in cloud positions, I mean, deciding what gets put on air. We don't mean that there are no women in Volta.
Right. We are talking about the job in which you design content and you decide whether content is put on air or not.
Right. As you can see here, ideas del sur,
14%. 14% women comprise just in the 14%. So la cornisa just
yes, the cornisa will be like the most
44.
egalitarian of them if you want.
Right. Then we have the mall, for instance, 33%, right? Women. Pero we know ideas del sur is one charge of showmatch, the mall, News Telegram, todas las producciones de Fantino y Animal Puedo, right? Okay. So roughly speaking, we could say that the content that we watch on television is mainly defined by men. If we take into account the figures we have just seen, we could say that out of 10 people producing content for the television are men. So we are consuming things from a male perspective, right? So, what can we conclude from this?
Right. Well, one of our first conclusions is that television is most often used as a weapon to maintain the status quo. Yes, what we were mentioning about male supremacy, and also that TV advertising needs. I mean, that what we mentioned before about women gaining some ground. Well, we think that this is a reality. Women are gaining some ground, and yet this is neglected by TV producers and advertisers, precisely because it threatens this male supremacy that they defend, right?
Right.
And also that we as educators, we believe that education by this author that I mentioned earlier, Joan Ferrer. Una escuela que no enseña a ver televisión es una escuela que no educa. So the message that we want to convey today is that we as educators have to be committed and have a task, a role to play in helping our students provide